it's Amrita. How are you? How you doing? I'm just going to wait for a few more people to join and then we will get underway to welcome our guest. And he is an actor who has starred in a few films. You might have seen him in Sarbjeet as Aishwarya Rai Bachchan's husband. You might have seen him in Hasina Parker as Shraddha Kapoor's husband. Yeah, he's going to be joining us soon. Hi Rohit. Hi Bepana #1 fan. I don't know what your name is, but hello. Can you hear me? Send me a thumbs up, send me a wave if you can hear me. We're just waiting for Mr. Ankur Bhatia to join us and then we will get underway. Send me a wave, guys, or send me a thumbs up if you can hear me. You can hear me. Hi, Ikra. Yeah, we're just waiting for Ankur Bhatia, who is starring in the web series on Hotstar that has released today called Aarya, which sees the, I don't like using the word comeback, but it sees Sushmita Sen back on our screens. We are waiting for Mr. Ankur Bhatia, who is playing Sushmita Sen's brother in the Hotstar web series Aarya, which has started streaming today. And we're just waiting for him to join. Hi Arushi. And once he joins, I will add him in. And then we can have a chat. In the meantime, how is everyone? I'm good, thanks, Arushi. I am really glad that it's Friday. Really glad. So Ankur is going to be joining us from New York because he's currently there. And it's very early in the morning in New York. It's afternoon here in the UK. And it's evening in India. So we will just wait for him to come. How am I passing my time in the lockdown? I'm actually working from home, so most of the time I'm working. Apart from that, we're allowed to go to the park. I've been going to the park, but it's been raining for the last couple of days, so haven't been able to go to the park. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just waiting for Ankur Bhatia to come live. He's not here yet. Hi Bimaj. Oh, he's here. 1 second. Bhatia, who is now finally arrived. So here we go. Just waiting for him to connect. Hopefully it will work the first time. And it will connect us straight away so that we can start talking to him. Okay, it's still connecting. So hopefully he will be connected soon with us. Ankur, just if you're watching, I've sent you a request to it saying it's waiting for you to accept, probably. Hi, Gary. No, okay, so we can't seem to connect to Ankur. Let's try again. Okay, that didn't work. So we will try and get him back shortly. Bear with me 1 minute. All right. We will try again. we're trying again. So hopefully he will connect this time. Yay!
Hey,
Finally, how are you?
I was like, this has never happened before.
It's probably the problem on my end. Don't worry.
You never know. How are you, Amrita?
I'm very good. How are you, Uncle?
I'm good, I'm good. I just woke up
Your hair
as
looks
I.
amazing.
What?
Your hair looks amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Is this lockdown hair?
Yeah, it's been growing. This just letting it grow. Actually, for the show, Aarya had gone like literally very short.
Yeah.
So that has been literally a blessing that it has not gone hey, crazy because usually it's like this length, so then it would have gone like all the way down.
Oh wow. No, but it looks really good. It looks really good.
Thank you,
Your
thank you.
style, your style in that show. I was going to say it's a different style that we've seen you in Arya.
Yes, a little different now. I finished shooting in February end, so it has been a while.
How is lockdown going there?
It's actually sometimes it's really boring. I really want to go out there now because as you know, I'm always traveling. I'm in New York and then I'm in Bombay, so I'm always commuting. And now since March, it has been just no, I can't go anywhere. And it's been like my suitcases are there. I want to go out and all. So so I'm hoping to fly back again soon.
Let's hope you can. Yeah, exactly. So how has it been actually promoting the show virtually?
It's really it's actually it's one of the fun things that has been going for the past 2 months because otherwise it would have been really crazy. There was like literally no work was going on apart
Yeah.
from Arya because we started doing dubbing. This was the first time someone was dubbing remotely. So I used to dub in Indian time zone. So I used to be up at night, do a Zoom call with these guys out there in Bombay, and then record the dialogues. And so it was a lengthy process because the files would be sent to India and then but it kept me busy and every day there was something going on with Arya. So it was great. Otherwise, now that it's all over and it's out there for the people to watch, I'm thinking now what next. So I have another web series called Crackdown. I think I just heard yesterday that they might be starting the dubbing like that. Um,
Okay.
and and I told Apurva Lakhya that please you can do that because people are doing it. So I'm hoping he does that and we get busy with that.
We hope so. So I've watched, as I just messaged you actually,
Hi,
I've watched
Krishnan.
I've watched just over one episode, and I feel like Sangram is very hot-headed, isn't he?
Yeah. That he's a good guy. He's all heart. So whatever is there, it just comes out immediately. If you see, he's very impulsive, which comes across as aggressive also at times. But he has done something, and now he's not understanding why people don't are not trying to get it what he's doing. So he's kind of
Yeah.
baffled on that.
So how did you approach the character? Because I'm assuming it's not like you.
No. Very different. I'm more of a, I think before I do stuff. This guy doesn't think at all, you know. Um, but it is an interesting story. So I had developed the character a little differently when I read it because I was in New York. So I tested for this character from here and then got selected and everything. And then I was supposed to go to India for the workshops. So when I went there and I was doing the reading with these guys, I'm not one of the directors in the show, Vinod Rawat, he was coaching me for this character. And I was reading and he was like, you're making it very obvious. And that's what people are going to assume looking at you that that's how you are. So just let's try a different technique and we work towards it according to Sangram whatever he's doing is absolutely correct so
Mm.
and earlier I was not taking that take so I started including that take that okay in my vision I'm doing the right thing for everyone around me and eventually it's actually messing around with things with everybody in my family so you'll see that when you see him he's absolutely right if you see his face he's like you know right there that these guys are crazy they're not getting me so that's
I
how
think
I started developing and then the other thing also was it's because it's family and everyone has conflict with each other the way Mr. Ram Madhwani and Sandeep Modi has directed it, they actually did these workshops with all the family members before the shoot for 10, 15 days, so that when we went to the set, it was all like a big family. We were staying together in the same hotel, eating together and everything, and then shooting the next day. It just for a month, it was like that. So it was like a family thing going on. So we were completely in it. So, for everyone, I think it was, if you see the show, you feel like you are a part of the family.
Yes, it does feel, it does make the
Yeah.
viewer feel like that. I think Mr. Apurva Lakhe actually just said, well done, Sangram rocks.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Lakia. He's the one who gave me break.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
my first film. He's like a
That's,
brother to me, so yeah. His
that's
words
so
means a lot. Actually, he was the first one I called yesterday night after I asked him. I deliberately told him to watch the first episode and then to talk to me.
amazing. Um, I have to ask you actually, this series obviously sees, we say comeback, but I don't like that word. It sees Sushmita Sen making her debut on the small screen, but it's also your debut on the small screen, right? On the, sorry, OTT
But
platform.
it's not a small screen anymore. It's like, it's
Yeah.
more visibility than the big screen these days. So, I don't know why people call it a small screen because I think uh, because everyone has access to this OTT platform now, everyone can sit at home. They don't have to necessarily go to the theater and watch it. So there is definitely more viewership. And for me, it's not a comeback. I've just done 3 films last year. And Hasina Parker was last year. So you know. And for her also, I think she has always been in the news. I think she was a bit more choosy about what she wants to do, and there's a comeback for Chandrachur Singh as well. So um,
Yeah.
it's great. I hope people really like what these guys have also done in the show.
So in the first few episodes, we see you basically with more with Chandrachur Singh, as you've just said, and Namit Das.
Yes.
So how has your bonding been on set when you're shooting those scenes?
You're right. We were always together. And we had this. I mean, we shot a lot of stuff because it was like, we're driving, doing this whole action sequence together. So we bonded actually during the workshops only because there was a lot of time. We used to go for 6, 7 hours. We used to sit and chat and eat. And Chandrachur Singh particularly is very down to earth. I mean, I had thought like, yes, he has done so many films and there's an age gap and but it was just that he was he's very down to earth, very nice guy. So, it was like the right he took both of us as like, okay, Jawahar is my friend, Ankur is my brother, and that's how we used to communicate. So whenever we would do that scene, if you see there is this thing going on with there's an undercurrent with Namit, there's an undercurrent with and Namit is trying to stop the conflict and also it was fun. It was really fun. Namit is a great actor to work with. The back and forth between us is great.
That's good. So how about working with Ram Madhwani, sir? How has it been working with him? I know there's been a lot of love that he's given you on social media.
Yeah, he's an experience too. Like an experience in himself. Like it's like going back to school, and just looking at him and observing him how he does certain things. It's a delight. I mean, um, oftentimes you forget. Like there's so much going on, and one thing I noticed in him was he's just so calm and then because of his calm nature, everything falls in place. There's no chaos. I mean, there's a lot of chaos going on, but you will not feel it. As an actor, he would make it so simple for you. I was the one, interestingly, the last one to join the set. These guys had started shooting. I joined after like 15, 20 days, and they were shooting in this new concept called 360 degree, where there's no traditional close-ups and cuts. So you'll see it's all long movements of the camera is always revolving, and we do the entire scene in one go. So I was not used to this kind of a scenario. So the first day when I joined, he didn't discuss this with me. He's like, no, no, don't worry, you'll flow in, flow in. I did the first scene, and then he came laughing on the mic and he's like, Sangram is totally lost. And I was totally lost because I didn't know when to say my line. It's like, I have never seen this thing. It's like a theatrical performance where every actor is performing. There are 20, 25 actors who all are doing their own bits, and the camera is just going on for 25, 30 minutes. And I'm thinking, okay, now as soon as I start saying my line, someone cuts me off. And these things happen organically, but and then once I got the hang of it, it was just super easy. Like, it was, uh, usually in shooting, there is always a very nervous feeling of going to the set and doing a certain scene in a certain way.
Mm.
This one, I just didn't feel anything. I would just wake up and I was like, yeah, wo to jaake, everything will happen, everything will fall in place. Uh, so it was great.
That's good. So I know when we spoke for Hasina Bargo, you spoke to me about how you kind of go into the characters and get into the skin of your character. So did
Yeah.
you find that difficult with Sangram, or did you find the kind of sur of the character quite easily?
Over the past 3 years, I have evolved as an actor as well. I mean, Hasina was a great experience for me as an actor because it was the first film where I had a character graph and I had something uh, going on in terms of like what I can do. And Apurva Lakhia had actually guided me very well in terms of as an actor in that film. If you see the last scene where I die, I mean, after we had this conversation before, I remember that, it was easy for me to get into the character, but I was having a tough time coming out of it because the last scene that I shot, I died in that scene. Um, Having said that, last year also I did two or three films, very different characters from what I've done in Hasina. Then Sangram came, and now what I do is I see what are the similarities with me with the character, and I try to kind of combine them and build up a character from there, so that it's not something which is, and I don't try to put in my personal experience into it because then you get very emotionally attached to the character. So with Sangram, I kept him totally organic, and also, the difference was that the earlier films that I've done, they're all biopics, most of them. So
Yeah.
there was always a certain pattern that I had to follow. I knew the Ibrahim Parker was a certain way. I'd done my research, met the people. So I knew that, okay, he was this guy, he was a brooding personality, he would act like that, he would do like that. With Sangram, this was not there. I had to build it up. So it became very interesting because it I could do anything with Sangram. It has to just be believable.
Mm. That's fair enough. And what kind, I mean, I've been seeing some of the social media reception that you've got for Sangram.
Hi, Anjul. Yeah.
You're getting you're getting a lot of love for Sangram. How does it feel already? It's only just started streaming.
I have actually, I myself watched it yesterday and I went through it all. So it took me 9 hours. So I'm also a little zapped because I slept at 5 o'clock in the morning and I woke up for this thing and I was dreading that I would miss this. Um, but yeah, there are a lot of messages that are coming in. I was just going through it. People are liking the show, which is great. I just spent 5 minutes on Twitter. But, I try to stay a little away from social media these days because there's a lot of negativity that comes your way also, and then the entire day goes by like that only. Once you start reading and it's addictive, you keep reading it, you keep reading it, you keep reading it.
Yes, we
And there you
spoke.
go, there are like 2,000 utensils in the kitchen to clean that.
That's so true. I'm going to ask you actually because obviously there's a message for you here from.
Hi Anjul, hi Amrish, hi Shantanu. Thank you. Sangram loves you, bro. Atul, Dharmil Bodani, thank you. He's a very good friend of mine. The last live I went to, I was just talking and I'm a talkative person. I didn't see what the comments were. And then I got like three, four messages swearing at me that, why the F do you come online?
That's okay. I'm keeping an eye. Don't worry.
Hi
Um,
Arvind, hi
so
Yakuza,
I
hi
was going
Bhatia
to
Jr.
I was going to ask you. You are obviously the conversation at the moment
Thanks, Vatsal.
is about the sad demise of Sushant Singh Rajput and the fact that how outsiders are treated. That's the conversation that's happening on social media.
Yeah, everywhere.
You are kind of an outsider, right, to the industry.
Okay, yeah.
What has your experience been?
To be honest, my experience has been really good. I literally went for the first time to Bombay in 2011. I'd met Apurva Lakhia here in New York in the film festival, and I'd met a couple of other people. So I knew a little bit, but everybody told me that you have to come to Bombay in order to, pursue in the cinema. When I went there, everybody, it's a tough industry to be in. Forget about nepotism. It's like there are a lot of people in Bombay who are there to become actors. I mean, if you go to Andheri, the entire Lokhandwala, Yari Road is all full of people who are they're talented, good-looking people, and there are only these many roles. So it's a tough industry. So people have, I mean, there are people who suffer from nepotism where they're getting some work and someone else would take their work. I personally didn't. I have struggled in my own way to get work because I everybody has their own journey. I was not a very trained actor, so my first break I got after that. I took a little time off, learned a little bit, owned my craft, came back to New York, did some independent films, then went back again, did Sarabjit. So everybody all have their own ways, but um, having said that, some people do suffer it, and I mean, and that's why the debate is on. I personally haven't. Uh, l- I mean, I have gotten the opportunities. It's not that I've been doing work, and I consider that I look at myself in terms of where I have grown as an actor in terms of my career, and I don't take it that seriously. Also, where it can bother me for my life. I mean, nepotism technically is there pretty much everywhere in every field. I've worked as a banker. There's stuff here that goes around in the politics and the job, and you just have to take it heads on.
Yeah, absolutely. So what do you have coming next? I know you mentioned another web
It's
series.
called Crackdown. That's with Mr. Purvalake only. It will be coming on the platform called Voot, and it has Saqib Salim, Shreya Pilgaonkar, Valusha, a couple of other very good actors. That's there. Then I finished a movie last year called Bhavai that has an ensemble cast. It's a comedy with a very good message at the end. So that's there. Then I did a film with Ronnie Screwvala. It's called Riyad Jigri. That was supposed to come out. I don't know when it's going to come out. Then I did a show called The Power. That's for Lionsgate in US. That's a Hollywood show. It's going to come in New York. So those are the things that are there in pipeline. Let's see.
Sounds exciting. It does sound
Yeah,
really exciting.
we have been
So
making plan to meet whenever you are there in Bombay, and it's never. I think we have been in touch for like now 6, 7 years.
really,
I think so, yeah. Because I was checking the Twitter message and it had that date.
that's amazing. Wow, that's amazing. That it doesn't feel like that long, I'll be honest.
Hi, Mr. Vikas Tiwari. Yeah.
Um, so with the stuff that you've got going on, and obviously we're kind of going towards a new normal, as they call it.
Yeah.
How do you think entertainment is going to look in terms of cinemas, in terms of maybe live events, in terms of launches, like trailer launches and stuff like that? How do
I
you
think
see it?
I think for a little bit, for a little while, we'll all have to maintain the social distancing norm and the safety protocols that are there for this thing. But eventually, I have a feeling everything will get back to normal. I mean, in New York, things are getting back to normal. People are coming out, venturing out. They are all maintaining the distance, wearing the mask, the gloves, and all those things. And I think eventually, one by I'm hoping by end of the year things are back to normal and we can all be back to work and flying and
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But is there something? How do you feel about it? I mean, if it takes longer to get back to normal, how do you feel as a performer, as an actor?
I mean definitely the work would be affected because acting is a medium where you have to interact with you can't how much can you cheat? I mean I'm doing an independent film with someone where we are cheating. My other actor will perform at his place and I'm performing at my place. The director will be on a Zoom call and we tried shooting one scene and it was just a hell lot of a difficult thing to do because you have to as an actor I have to be the DOP, I have to be the director at that point of time, I have to make sure everything is in place, I have to be the art director also. It's very difficult. So and I think after they start shooting also and if this thing is going on and they have all these rules and regulations where you have to be this far from the person and all these regulations that will be maintained. I don't think it will be very seamless shoot. It will be very difficult. I mean, a couple of ads that have recently come out where there's only one actor and the other actor is standing like poles apart.
Yeah.
So I don't see movies being shot in this kind of a scenario where if the disease is spreading and it's still contagious and dangerous, I don't think it will become like a regular shoot scenario. Because in a shooting, in a film shoot or things like that, in this kind of a medium, there are a lot of people involved. There'll be makeup people, there'll be there'll be the gaffer would be standing with the mic, there'll be sound guys, there'll be cameraman. You can't keep everybody away like 8 feet, 6 feet apart, and I'm not sure how that will work.
No problem. Someone asked
But
a
actually,
question.
things should get back to normal soon because there are a lot of people who are affected. Their wages are affected. Their daily wage workers, their livelihood depends upon every day of the shoot. And the longer it is stopped, it it's gonna be really sad.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're saying someone
Um,
asked a question.
Someone asked a very funny question. It was meant to be a comedy. How was your experience in jail?
How was my experience in jail? It was funny. I was actually longing to get out of the jail in the show because if you'll see, most of my part is in the jail. Everybody comes to meet me in the jail. So, and I actually developed friendship with all these actors who were performing as the caddies in the jail. So I would make my own scene with them. I would be like, okay. So there was this, there's a very interesting scene where, which you'll see in the show that Sushmita's Arya comes to meet me, and we have a scene. So there was this guy I was just talking to randomly. I said, why don't you whistle when she comes? I'll take a case of you. So he did that, and it came out brilliant because then I started screaming at him, why the fuck are you whistling? And so I made friendship with all these actors, and I really enjoy talking to these guys because they've been playing extras and character roles for plenty of time. So it keeps you grounded also to know that okay, they're also talented. They're there and they're doing this every day. And some certain times when I came, I was like, oh, my line is not there. This scene, it's not focused on me. We're very selfish on that aspect also that everything has to be about this and then you meet these people, they're standing there, they might not be in the focus also, and they're happy and they're willingly more than happy to do that and go like and enjoying the shoot. So and it's a fun conversation if you have with these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I can imagine. I'm just going to check if there are any more questions.
Hello, hi Anup, hi Sakshi, hi Yash, Anjul Siroi,
There's a lot of
Gopal
hellos here.
Soumya, hi Vikas sir. It's great to see the spectrum of roles you have done from Sarojit to Hasina Power. Thank you, Shantanu. Sangram is super. Sangram is actually super. Amrita, you have to watch, you have just watched one episode, no?
I've watched one and a half, so hopefully this weekend I'll finish.
Nice. I watched the entire show.
I don't know how you did 9 hours. I was just about to say that it's an
I felt
hour.
dizzy after that. It was a long 9 hours.
It's an hour an episode. I didn't expect that.
Hi, Baz the Broken. Happy birthday. Ma'am, your
Happy
accent
birthday.
is really, really good because she's from UK. Like a
Is
coffee.
it to me? I thought it was to you.
No, no, my accent is
Oh, okay. Yes, I'm from the UK.
like
Um,
cookies.
God. Um, have you in the lockdown? Have you been learning
Anjul, I'm
anything new?
good. I've been I have been actually spending time doing painting these days a lot because that's one of the hobbies that I've always had. And for the past few years, I've not gotten a chance to paint because I'm always traveling. So, the canvas, paints, and just don't have the time. I have started painting. So I just painted this one. That's my mother. Um,
Oh, so beautiful.
yeah. And then I painted one of this.
Wow.
So yeah, so this is what I do. And I cook. I started cooking a lot. YouTube chef I've become. And cook literally everything. Hi
Literally
Supreet.
every.
Hi Gaju. Hi Harinder. Eric, what time?
Um, Someone asked a question, was it difficult to play Sushmita Sen's brother?
Very difficult. I'm used to playing husband roles. So I was Aishwarya Rai's husband, then I was Shraddha Kapoor's husband, then suddenly this brother thing happened, and I was like, gotta gotta rethink what's going on. So
That's so
I've told
true.
Apurva Lakia because I think he's the only guy who would listen to my plea and get me back on the husband or the boyfriend side.
That's amazing. So I was going to ask you actually, what kind of dishes? You say you cook everything, but do you have a speciality?
I mean, the easiest and the best that comes out after my cook is lamb shanks because there's not much to be done. It's just that it takes a long time to cook because you have to put it on a slow cooker and then cook it. But but apart from that, it's just salted the onion, put some tomatoes, put the shanks, put some masala, and done. Boom.
See, you could have dressed that up so much more.
I know, but it doesn't go with my thing. There was a time when the lockdown started and I was making all these dishes and I started putting pictures on my social media about it. And then one of my friends said that, "What are you thinking about changing professions?" And it's the wrong indication I'm giving to people. I stop doing that.
Yes, that's true.
I'm
That is
not
very
changing my
true.
profession. I'm never gonna be a cook.
Well, we might see in a few years' time if we're talking again and you've turned into some sort of chef.
Hi
There's
Priyanka
no.
Rai. Hi Amir. Hi Brown Beauty. Look at the name, then I should also change my name.
What would you change it to?
So, Brown Beauty.
This silly
I
Deepak.
actually changed it to Sangram, then I made a spelling mistake. So I went back and I was trying to change it, and then Instagram said you can't change it for 2 weeks.
2 weeks. That's
Yeah,
mental.
that's my dad
So,
who's just learned how to do Instagram, and he's a very dangerous personality online. So, just ignore him.
so this name is quite weird. Silly Deepak has asked how. Where did you learn acting? I know we've spoken about this before, but I don't think we've spoken about it like this.
I learned acting on the sets. Actually, I went to a school called New York Film Academy to learn acting, and then I realized that you can't learn acting in such a short time. I went for a 3 month course. Then someone actually told me that, start doing independent films, start doing short films. They don't pay you, but it's a great experience to learn. And that's what I did. So for almost about a year and a half, I did a lot of short films. I think one of my film, the first film that I did, Grand Street Shaving Company, which was a big film. Um, Abhay Deol was supposed to do the part, and then he couldn't come at that point of time. His dates were not available, so I got that part, and that film went to some 30 film festival, 30, 32 international film festival, including Cannes, and so that actually started encouraging me more because everywhere I would go to the festival here in New York or LA, people would really like the way I played that part. I played a cab driver. So I thought that this is a correct way. I started doing that more. Then I did another film called Coconut Grove. By that and that time I was working in finance full time and doing this part time. For that, there was this festival at Tribeca. I won the Best Actor Commendation Award. And that day I decided that now, I'm going to go full time. Quit my job, went to LA, didn't get work for 6 months, not even a short film. Then I thought, okay, maybe my look is different, then I'll go to Bombay. I went to Bombay, didn't get anything in Bombay also. Then Zanjeer happened, luckily. And then I realized all this that I've learned is totally very different from. So it has prepared me, it's given me a base, but there's a whole lot of uh, it's a spectrum of things that you need to know as an actor. Like, my knowledge was very limited at that time. Then I did Zanjeer, and I started working with Sanjay Dutt. I saw Priyanka Chopra acting. I saw all these actors, Prakash Raj, Ramcharan, doing their bits. And, I started observing. I'm a very good observer, so I started learning on the job. So my 7 years in the industry has always been learning. I'm still learning. As I said, Ram Madhwani's set was also an experience. Hasina Parker was experience in terms of a character. As an actor, I developed. So I think now I have started playing around with the layers, and still a long way to go, but it's going.
That's good. Someone asked in Arya, if you weren't playing Sangram, which other character would you have liked to play? Don't say Chandrachud Singh is the husband.
No, I can't play that. He was very well casted in that part. I can't imagine anybody else playing Tej. He is Tej. The if you in the first episode you must have felt
Yeah,
that. Yeah, I mean I don't fit in that. I think I will be most fit in Sangram only. Given a choice again, I would do Sangram.
you do Sangram. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
he's a very interesting character. If you see, uh, I mean, he's always going up and down, up and down, up and down. So whenever you see him, it's a different. Not if you see first scene, then his second scene, his third scene, his fourth scene, all are different. You will never know when he's speaking. There are a lot of people who are saying that we don't know when you're speaking the truth and when you're lying. So the audience will always feel that he's lying, he's saying the truth. It does just you won't be able to make sense of. Yeah.
I think that's part of the engagement of your character that you can't actually tell.
Yes, and that's what interested me also, which was a- I mean, otherwise it's always like, okay, this character was not totally gray. Also, you can't say, oh, I'm playing a bad guy or a villain. You can't say I'm playing a good guy and the like, the. So it just keeps hovering between gray and you know. Uh, so it was very interesting playing him also. Even I used to get lost in the jail time and what my thought process is because a time there the cop would come to meet me, I have to be different. Then my sister would come to meet me, it have to be different. My dad would come, it will be totally different. I would treat the lawyers and all the other people who are smaller in terms of class with me, I'll treat them differently. And there's a lot happening in the jail also.
Yeah, okay. I will look forward to that,
Yes.
watching that. I was going to ask actually, you have, like, as you said, you are constantly flying back to New York and then
Yeah,
you
New
are
York, then sometimes LA and then Bombay.
how do you balance it? How do you balance it? It must be quite busy.
I love it actually. All my life I used to. I want. I'm from a place called Bhopal. So for the first 18 years of my life, I was always in Bhopal. I'd never been out traveling. So my first flight was to US, and that was the first time I sat on a flight. So for me, this is a dream come true to fly so often. I feel lucky because it's very exciting. Uh, I reach Bombay, then I go. I was shooting Crackdown, so I was shooting in this place called. Um, there's this school called Sanar. It's a boarding school and is up near Shimla, Kasauli. So I shot there. Then immediately after that, I went to Jaipur, and it was like literally the weather shifted from like cold to very hot. And I'm playing two different characters. As an actor, it's really exciting, and there's a lot of work happening that you're playing uh, this character and that character. The location has changed. Everything has changed. So it's very exciting if you like to travel.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you didn't like to travel, you might have stopped
Yeah.
by
I mean,
now.
now there are times when I take the flight from here to Bombay. I literally pass out the minute the flight takes off, and I wake up when it lands. So for those 14, 15 hours, uh, I take melatonin, and because immediately after that, reaching Bombay, I have to work. I have to meet people the next day. I mean, you can't afford to have jet lag for 7 days.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's very true. Um, how do you how I mean,
मैंने
when
सुबह
flying,
11 बजे से जाकर अभी किया. You guys amazed? Thank you, Madhvi. Thank you.
I missed
I'm
that.
assuming you don't understand Hindi, right? You do or
Of
you
course,
don't?
I don't. Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
don't need subtitles. I
With
promise
your
you, I don't need
accent, I
subtitles.
can never tell that you can even speak Hindi.
I don't speak a lot of Hindi because I think I'm
Yeah.
awful. So I just don't speak. Why try? 1 second. I missed a question. Okay, so there's a lot of people asking when your next movie is. So we've spoken about this. I'm going to ask them to
My
rewatch.
next web series is coming out, which is called Crackdown on Woot. I think it should be out in August or September, and that's also a completely different character. Uh, so you'll like it. Please do watch it.
There's
Pasta
someone
कैसे
said,
बनाना?
someone said, please say my name. And then there's another lady who's come in and says, Ankur says hi, Deepak.
Hi Deepak again.
There you go. There you go. Okay, so I'm going to wrap up. I'm just going to ask you one question, and I think you
Sure.
probably know who it is. I'm going to ask you if you have any plans to come to London or the UK.
As soon as the lockdown opens up, I promised you that I'll take the flight which stops in London and then goes to Bombay. Hopefully British Airways, and we're gonna catch up.
I'm not sure about British Airways or where that is.
So I was asking, what is your school crush?
Yeah.
I would say now there's so many crushes. I think in school I had a crush on my teacher probably because I was I was not in a co-ed school. It was all boys school.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Ankur, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was very fun chatting with you, and hopefully we're gonna meet up someday in person.
Absolutely. And I will watch the whole of Aarya and
Please,
I will.
and let me know your feedback.
Absolutely, I will do. Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope
Thank
the rest of
you.
lockdown goes well. And
Thank you,
I'm
Atul. Thank you, everybody.
yeah, it's
Crush
been
from the
great.
set of Arya. आदमी को crush की पड़ेगा. Payal.
Same.
Okay,
That's the
Amrita.
same. That's the same person who asked about the school crush has now asked you about the Aarya crush.
Very interested in crushes only.
Exactly.
You know, I was
Thank you
talking
very
about Grand Street Shaving Company, which was my short film. That was the director, yeah, Payal Sethi. She's here,
much.
who has written such a hottie. Thank you, Payal, for giving me Grand Street Shaving. Please
That's
watch my
funny.
show now, Arya. It's on Hotstar.
Yes, absolutely. On Hotstar. Or in
Yeah,
India, it's called Disney Plus Hotstar, but in the UK, it's only called
on
Hotstar.
hot star.
Aha,
Oh
yes, I
yeah.
like that. Take care. I hope
All
to speak
right,
to
take
you.
care. Be in touch.
Yes, absolutely. Take care. Bye.
You too.
Okay, so that was the amazing Ankur Bhatia. So as we were saying, you can watch him now on Aarya, which is streaming on Hotstar, on Disney Plus Hotstar. And yeah, we will bring you some more lives when we can, and hopefully you will join us again. Thank you everyone who joined. This is Amrita from BizAsiaLive.com signing out.